All right, so today we're going to head through some of the basics of building a Facebook page and the how and why and everything else you need to know about getting started with a Facebook page. So, one of the biggest things that I see people do wrong in this is that they build a personal account as a business. Now, that's against Facebook policies and guidelines. And to be honest with you, it's really not a good idea anyway because it asks you, in doing so, you access a lot of personal information from your fans. You're limited to 5,000 fans, which is pretty small in the scheme of how big Facebook is. Logistically, you don't have the analytics or any of the marketing tools or any of the ads. This is really the best way to do it. It stays within Facebook policy. You're not going to get your page shut down. And there's so many benefits to doing it this way in terms of how the marketing strategy is built out, the analytics that you get, everything else behind it. So keep that in mind that as we build, everything we build in social media, we build with a long term plan. So you have a business, or let's say you don't have a business, you have an idea or a concept that you want to share with your friends, like say photography or even just some fun videos. Whatever it is, really, it's a great way to separate yourself because if it does blow up on you and go viral and get big, which is kind of the hope and the point of using social media, then you can also disconnect from that. So you can build it under your name, which depending on the type of business you have, that may or may not be a good idea. And we'll get into business naming, but you want to make sure that however you're doing this, that you position everything for long-term growth. Okay. So you have a business, you want to create a page. So we're going to just type in the top bar here. You're going to create a Facebook page. It says create a page. Click on that. It'll take you to this screen. Okay, this is your starting piece. So you can build it in any one of these. If you have a location, it's going to ask you for an address. If, today we're going to build something, it's entertainment because I don't know if I'll actually be using this page. We're going to use so whatever it is that you've got, select that because it's going to give you the best strategic category to put you in. Okay, so we're just going to build this as a community of live awesomeness. We're going to get started. Okay, this piece you want to make sure that it's keyworded. So everything we talk about is we want to talk about words that people are going to be using in their everyday language. So this one is we're going to think of something clever and witty and fun to put in here, like pure awesomeness of living the life you desire. Okay, then we're going to put in the website, and we have social media awesomeness.com. That's a long one. And then we're just going to save that. All right, profile picture, I'm going to skip because I can upload it later instead of dragging you guys through my files. We're going to skip that, no big deal. That's where it wants to be stored on my timeline. Do I want to add it to my favorites? If you add it to your favorites on the left-hand side, it just shows up a little bit higher for you to navigate. So for me, when I navigate my favorites list, I always put my top pages that I'm working on up there, and then anything else that I'm maybe not so active on goes off of my favorite list, so I don't have to focus on them at any given point because there's a bunch of pages that I'm admin on that I don't necessarily do work on. So we are going to skip that because this does not need to be in my favorites at this point, but you may want to put it in your favorites. And then this is what we're going to look for in terms of demographics, so we can include everybody, really, the whole world. And my demographic is, maybe 18, maybe 20. Let's go 20 to 65. It's probably not as old as 65. We'll leave that in there. And search interests, we're going to go, they have some drop downs here that we can take a look at. So we can go business and industry, maybe some social media. Content marketing, We can do some stuff like that. We might want to do some travel because that's kind of a fun piece of this. Let's see what happens when we put in awesomeness. Awesomeness is a category, apparently. So this kind of just gives Facebook an idea of where to target your page and who to sort of look for. That's kind of the piece. So we just want to make sure that we're targeting the right sort of people. Adventure travel, let's add that one. So no, we don't want to narrow it that much. So that's the idea here is just fill in some categories, make sure that you have something in there. It's very important that you do fill in that step. And then that just sort of gives them an idea of who to target. So there's your page. Voila. Okay. So now that we have this page, we're going to go over here. We can add a cover photo and sorry, profile photo. We're going to click, we're going to go upload to add a photo. So we upload a photo, that's there. We're going to come over here, click on this one to add a cover photo. Once you've added a photo, you can drag it to reposition it. So this is the one that we've been using a lot on our marketing. It's one that I took while I was in Hawaii. So we want to take that, just position it to the center so that it's going to fit appropriately. And then just click on the outside so it'll save it. And then save the changes. So there you go. Make sure everything's aligned. Voila! We've got a new page. Okay, so now that you've got a business page, it's going to actually ask you to go through all of these. And it kind of teaches you as you go along how to set everything up, how to take care of everything, how to go through that. The key things that you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to go into settings and make sure you fill out all of these. Okay, visibility page published. If you're still working on some things and you want to perfect it, I usually just recommend going live. Yeah, Facebook isn't going to show it to anyone until it's got some likes anyway. You can schedule, you can adjust who is going to post on your page. So it's visitor posts. You can allow them or not allow them to post on your page depending on what your content is. I always say recommend leaving it open. If somebody is a problem on your page, you can always remove them or you can ban them or delete them, whatever you want to do. So until there's a problem, I always recommend leaving the page open so that you can create an audience. Then just go through each and every single one of these to make sure that you filled it out. Age restrictions, if you have an adult content website, page moderation. If you have words, you can go through here and put in the adult words. You can, profanity filter is off here. You can turn it on if you have a page that you're a little worried about. So there's I can see here like a similar page suggestions. It's going to do that anyway. So that's why we put in all those clicks before with all the different categories of people that might like our page. So these are all things that you're going to have to go through, read. They're pretty straightforward. Tagging ability, I always leave that open so that someone can tag your page into whatever there is. If there's pictures of people, that's always a big piece of it. Building a community is key. So make sure that you get through all of these and then go over to page info. Page info has moved apparently. So, and they move all the time. That's not really a big deal. And, you'll see people go up in arms about changes in Facebook. But to be honest, the changes in Facebook happen all the time without normal people knowing them. So you just kind of get used to that. So, you want to go through these. Choose 3 words to describe your page. Okay, so we're going to save those. Enter a Facebook web address. Now, this is one I do want to talk to you about because you can't really change this once you have it. Okay, so you can change almost everything here on Facebook. Okay, that's interesting. It says we've changed our addresses for our pages too many times, but this page is brand new. So obviously there's a little glitch on the Facebook end of things. What you'll be able to do here in a normal page when it's not glitchy is that you'll actually be able to put in a web address that you want, and it's going to be like the social media awesomeness one is / social media awesomeness. This one I could put I live awesomeness or be awesomeness or whatever you want to put on those. Be forewarned that they're very difficult to change and almost not changeable. Same thing with YouTube. You cannot change them once you have them. So these are something that you do want to give a little bit of thought so you can make it broad, because you can change the name of your business, but you don't want to have to change the name of your following or this page. So this has to have a little bit of evolution. So if you're really not sure about this, just leave it and have a numbered URL. And what happens is you get this little number behind it for a while. That's okay. And then once you've sort of established where you're going to go in your branding and marketing, then you can ask for this change and save it over. And then you've got it confirmed. If you're a well-established business or it's going to be your name, whatever, you can certainly go ahead and do that right away. So just make sure that you are certain with that, because it's very difficult to change the URL. I don't think you can change it at all, but you can change your page name. Just very difficult to change the URL. So make sure that you keep that in mind as you name that. So in the impressum for your page, this you want to think about when you're wording it, keywords. Okay, so what are people searching for that are going to interest my page? If I'm in fitness, I'm going to use any keywords that people would be using to find me on the internet. Like, we teach you, quote unquote, how to lose weight quickly. You want to put that in there. Whether people are going to read it or not, you want to put that in there, because that's what helps the Google search engines find you on Facebook. So all of this ties in together in being found on the internet. So before you do something like this, before you even write that, or have someone write it for you, you want to sit down and do a list of keywords. Like, okay, brainstorm. Spend 15 minutes. If somebody is going to look for me, what are the keywords they would use? Now, I'm going to get into using keyword tools later in this course, but as you're setting up this page, this is a really easy thing to change. So for now, just do it the simple, easy way, and then we'll get more in depth into the complicated ways as we grow and develop this page. So go into there, put your keywords, do that. Write a short little summary. Again, if you're not into writing, find someone to write it for you. You can go to Fiverr. There's lots of places you can get inexpensive people to just write something for you. Get a friend to do it, whatever you need to do. Then you're going to go in here and write the long description. Now, this one can be a novel, whatever you want. Again, keywords is the key here. So this is also how Google is going to find you. So it's not so much what's in your posts that Google finds, but it's this sort of stuff that Google finds. So again, keep that in mind. Make sure that you fill these out. These are not negotiable. Like, you can play around with the settings on the first page. These are a must do on your task list when you are building a page. So make sure that you're thorough and that you fill those out. Okay, we are going to go back to the settings. And then you just want to make sure that you go through each of those step by step, fill them out, be complete, be thorough. Take some time to do this. This is your business. If you were building an ad for a newspaper, you would certainly spend some time doing it. So make sure that you do this. Again, there's page roles. Page roles is where you can add a person to your work. So you have to be friends with them to add them, and then you just click save and it adds them. So that's the key piece there. Then your next step is we're not going to go into analytics this video, but the next thing you want to do is, look, Facebook is going to say the same thing. The next thing you want to do is invite your friends. So we are going to invite your friends. So we're going to click on this little tabby that Facebook is telling us to click on. Great minds think alike. Okay, so you're going to go into here. You're going to go invite friends. And now I don't suggest doing this all at once, and I do suggest being specific and not just inviting everyone on this list. Okay, but do make sure that you go down here and invite your friends. Okay, so go through this list, make sure that you invite your friends and ask them to invite your page. Again, make sure you're a little more specific so you're not just being one of those spammy people that is inviting everybody to your page. So that is officially your first day of homework from Social Media Awesomeness and your first step into becoming a quote-unquote big deal on the internet. So good luck with that. If you guys have any questions, post them below the video and I will certainly answer them as you go through the steps to create a page. This is pretty straightforward. So if you do have questions or you get stuck on anything, let me know and we will happily walk you through it and get you started. Good luck and let me know how it goes. Oh, and you guys can post the links to your page, and I'll come over and like your pages too. So post the links to your new pages. I'll happily come over and give you some love, give you your first few likes, and get you started on your Facebook page. So